Why are you still waiting? Why do you keep telling yourself that you will start later, decide later, become later, when something inside of you already knows the time is now? There is a pattern that keeps repeating, a quiet agreement you make with yourself. Not today, not yet, soon. And that word soon becomes a place you live in, a place where nothing actually changes. Because soon has no deadline. It has no commitment. It has no action attached to it. It feels safe because it allows you to believe you are moving forward while staying exactly where you are. This is how delay becomes identity. Not in one decision, but in repeated postponement. You feel the urge to act. You feel the pull to change. You feel the awareness that something needs to shift. And then you pause. You hesitate. You tell yourself you need more clarity, more time, more preparation. But the truth is not that you need more. The truth is that you are avoiding movement. Because movement introduces risk. Movement introduces uncertainty. Movement removes the comfort of staying the same. So instead of moving, you think, you analyze, you plan, you revisit the same thoughts over and over again, convincing yourself that this is progress. But thinking is not progress. Planning is not progress. Awareness without action is not progress. It is delay. And delay has a cost. Not always visible at first. Not always obvious. But over time, it becomes clear. Opportunities pass. Momentum fades. Confidence weakens. Because each time you delay, you reinforce hesitation. You teach yourself that you do not move when it matters. You teach yourself that your awareness does not lead to action. And that pattern becomes familiar. You begin to trust delay more than movement. You begin to default to waiting. Waiting for the right time. Waiting for the right feeling. Waiting for certainty. But certainty is not what creates movement. Movement creates certainty. Clarity is not what creates action. Action creates clarity. And this is where most people stay stuck. They believe they need to feel ready before they begin. But readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision. A decision to move forward without having everything figured out. A decision to act even when there is uncertainty. A decision to stop negotiating with yourself. Because the negotiation is what keeps you in place. You go back and forth. You weigh options. You consider outcomes. You revisit the same thoughts. And in that process, nothing changes. The same day repeats. The same thoughts repeat. The same patterns repeat. Not because you are incapable of change, but because you are delaying it. And delay feels justified. It feels logical. It feels responsible. But often, it is avoidance. Avoidance of discomfort. Avoidance of risk. Avoidance of the unknown. Because the unknown requires trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your ability to adapt. Trust in your ability to handle what comes next. And if that trust is not strong, delay becomes the default. You stay where things are predictable, even if they are not aligned, even if they are not fulfilling, even if they are not what you actually want, because predictable feels safer than uncertain. But safety is not always alignment. And staying where you are can become more uncomfortable than moving forward. That tension you feel, that restlessness, that constant awareness that something needs to change, that is not confusion. That is clarity waiting for action. And the longer you ignore it, the stronger it becomes. Until eventually, you are forced to confront it. But you do not have to wait for that moment. You can decide now. Not perfectly. Not all at once, but intentionally, to stop delaying, to stop waiting, to stop telling yourself that you will begin later. Because later is not guaranteed. Later is not promised. Later is often just another version of delay. What changes your life is not what you plan to do. It is what you actually do. It is the decision you make today. The action you take today. The movement you create today, even if it is small, even if it feels uncertain, even if it is not perfect, because movement builds momentum, and momentum changes everything. It shifts your energy. It builds confidence. It creates clarity. And once momentum begins, it becomes easier to continue. But you have to start. That is the part most people avoid. The beginning. Because the beginning feels exposed. It feels uncertain. It feels uncomfortable. But every version of your life that you want requires that beginning. It requires that decision. It requires that first step. Not later. No. And now does not mean everything changes overnight. It means something changes. A decision. An action. A shift. Because small movement is still movement. And consistent movement creates transformation. You do not need to solve everything. You do not need to have every answer. You do not need to eliminate uncertainty. You need to stop delaying. You need to trust yourself enough to begin. And trust is built through action, not before it. So if you have been waiting, recognize this. The moment is created, not found. It is created by the decision to move, by the willingness to act, by the choice to stop postponing your own life. Because your life is not something that happens later. It is happening now. And each day you delay, you are choosing not to participate fully in it. That is the truth. And truth creates direction. You can continue waiting. Or you can decide that waiting is no longer your pattern. That delay is no longer your identity. That movement is your new standard. And that decision changes everything. Because once you decide, you move. And once you move, you change.